So we just finished voting, and this was the cool part about this whole situation. Some of the things were broken down to where a sixth grader could understand what I was voting on. For an example, a parent is the primary decision maker for their child. I don't even know why we had to vote on that, but that was one of the things that we had to vote on. Of course, them trying to raise taxes and make us pay more on our property taxes, and of course, making decisions for Alzheimer's research, things of that nature. But this is the thing that I want to talk about. It's very, very important, parents, that we make sure that we involve our children in the voting process, okay? As much as a lot of people, the conspiracy theorists, like to say that our vote doesn't count, it actually does count, okay? We are a republic and we are governed by the Constitution, which means you need to exercise your right to vote. If you have children, you need to implant in them that once they become of age, that they need to participate in their constitutional right, which is to vote. See, this is what, the fourth time that we've done this? Yes, it's the fourth time that we've done this. So he knows that any opportunity that I have him and that it is, voting season, we're going to do this together so he understands the process, what we're voting on, and the importance of being a American citizen and being a participant in how the laws are made here. So, parents, make sure that you involve your kids in this. Make sure that they understand that this is their right as an American citizen to do, okay? Your vote counts. Do not allow anybody to tell you that it doesn't, because it does, all right? Tuesday content starts now. Good day, good people. It's AT Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, as you see, your boy still got on his I voted sticker. You see that right here? See that? I voted. Oh, yes. I voted in Dallas County because that is the county that I'm living in. And I am very, very proud every single time that I vote. One is because I'm exercising my constitutional right. I am an American citizen and I love my country. And I know a lot of people who are from the United States of America are very unpatriotic. They hate the president. They hate all of the American culture. They love to basically claim a country that they're not from, even though their parents might be from there or their grandparents might be from there and they are from America. They don't like to claim America at all. But I'm not one of those type of guys. I'm very patriotic. I love my country. I know it's not perfect, but nothing on this earth is perfect. But you should always take a sense of pride or have a sense of pride when it comes to where you're from, because there are good things about America. Why do you think a lot of people jump over the border illegally to get here? Because of the freedoms and the opportunities that come with being in America. So don't let anybody trick you into believing that this country is all bad. No, it's not. This is the best country in the world. I am going to live and die here. I have no desire to live anywhere else but the United States of America. Yes, we have our problems. Yes, we have a whole bunch of wokeness going on right now, but we're having a reset anyway at this point. If you don't believe that we're having a reset, just take the time and sit down and look around. We are having a reset. We have been living lawlessly for a very long period of time. And sooner or later, we need to reset everything back to zero so people can understand what it is to have a community, have to get off your ass and go work and not relying on the government. And smaller government actually works, not big government, not socialism. We don't need that in our country. This is a capitalistic society here. And when people come from different parts of the world and they bring a badass ideals here, they get, voted into political offices. Like, that is no good. We do not need socialism here, and we don't need other people's culture dictating the way our laws are being implemented in the United States of America. You can call that controversial, but I do not care. I am a strong believer in this, and this is what I was going to talk about tomorrow. Listen, if you come to this country and you do not serve in the military, you should not be allowed to make our laws, which means you should not be able to run for mayor. You should not be able to run for a seat in the House or the Senate. Absolutely not, because you do not have a vested interest or any skin in the game when it comes to doing what's in the best interest of American citizens. You will always have a bias because you are from a country, and most people will have a bias because you are attached to the country that you are from. So if you are not from America and you did not serve in the United States military, any branches, you should not be making our laws. Absolutely not. Why? Because you come from a completely different culture that is not aligned with the United States of America. So you do not know what's in the best interest of the United States of American citizens. No, you are going to cater to your people from your country. And I'm sick of seeing this. You should not be able to run for office and then you got a flag from a different country waving around in your press conferences. That's bullshit. So no, we need to implement that. That should have been one of the things that they had on the ballot that I was voting on, today. Honestly, man. But you know me. That's my freestyle thoughts. I had to go off because I love speaking my mind. I have to speak my mind. I have to get things off of my chest from time to time. And I think that's why a lot of people are gravitating towards the content, because I'm just being who I am and not giving two shits about what anybody else thinks. I'm going to say what I want, when I want, how I want, and nobody on this planet is going to stop me. All right. So freestyle thoughts are done, but this is Tuesday. You know why we are here. We are on the richest man who ever lived, King Solomon's Secret to Success, Wealth, and Happiness. And we are finally on chapter 6, and I am so excited. Now, this chapter is long, so brace yourself, buckle up, understand. I'm going to be on this chapter for at least a whole month because it is long. But it's okay because these breakdowns hopefully help you guys out, and we're going to get to it now. Chapter 6 is titled The Great Accelerator, the key to maximum success in minimum time. Without counsel, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed. And that's Proverbs 15:22. Now, we're going to get into it. Why pursue your dreams at 5 miles per hour when you can go 65? If you have ever ran out of gas while driving, as soon as you accelerate, nothing happens. The vehicle comes to a complete stop. And this is also the outcome when you don't use Solomon's Accelerator. You will never achieve your dreams in a reasonable amount of time. You'll probably give up altogether. But if you use Solomon's Accelerator, it changes everything when it is used correctly. It will move you towards achieving your goals and dreams at unimaginable speeds. Now, what is this accelerator that I speak of? It's effective partnering. Now, what is a partner? If you remember in chapter 2, effectively partnering was one of the 4 steps to bring diligence into any area of your life. In Solomon's writing, he uses different words to convey the concept of partnering, like counselor and counsel. Now, most of us think of words like partner as a legal partner, like, in law, or if you're going into business with somebody. But a counselor can also mean a multitude of things. Anyone who gives needed advice, consultation, direction, or aid in the pursuit of a goal. This person could be a friend, a spouse, a coworker, a mentor, even an author. In this case, Solomon is our counselor. And when we follow his advice, we are acting as if he's our partner. Now, you should always surround yourself with people who specialize in different things, okay? So for me, for an example, I got a guy that's in tech. I got entrepreneur guys. I got people who are into real estate, law, all of these different people, foremans, a multitude of people in my life. So when I run into an issue, or before I even run into an issue, I will seek a professional, which is my circle, my network of people. And if you don't have certain people who specialize in certain things that you do not know, then you need to pay attention to that, because those people who are not adding value, or you can't utilize their expertise, what are they doing there in the first place? Everybody should be helping each other out, okay? If you're not, if you don't have the freedom, if you don't have the opportunity to put somebody on the phone, to text them, you have to think about, why are they in your life in the first place? Because they should be adding some form of value. Everybody should have a group of people that they can rely on, that they can depend on to help them out before or after an action is made. All right. So now most people seek a counselor or partner only when they're in trouble or a need that they can't handle by themselves. But Solomon knew better. He always seeked wise counsel before any significant endeavor. He knew that achieving success required wise counselors and good partners, and attempting to tackle any important effort without counselors or partners was foolhardy. Now, when I first bought my house, I knew nothing about home ownership, because that was my first time purchasing a house. But the smart thing that I did is, as soon as I got the keys, the next day, my stepdad came over. He looked through the whole house and told me exactly what tools that I needed to have in order to fix things around the house. He taught me how to, change out outlets. He taught me how to mount TVs on the wall. He taught me a whole bunch of things, and it was smart of me to actually reach out and talk to him before I started running into issues. He taught me how to use a snake that you attach to your drill, all of these things, because these problems eventually showed up, and without his help, without his knowledge, I would not have been able to take care of all of these things. And that's what we all need to do. When you have a new endeavor, right, you need to seek out counsel before you actually get into, the thick of things. So make sure that you do that before problems start happening, when you could have prevented them. You could have had the knowledge and the wisdom that you could have extracted from your network, your friends, your family. So pay attention to that. All right. So the consequences we're going to get into of going it alone. Now, we all have heard and probably said, I did the best that I could, or this is as good as it gets. But that is personal limitations. But none of these statements are true, because you can achieve far more if you were to recruit counselors or partners. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your plans and purposes will be frustrated. In Proverbs 15:22, Solomon tells us that without counsel, your purposes, plans, goals, or work will be frustrated, disappointed, or completely stopped. Now, this is why it's very important to vet who you date, guys. And we all know that we will bring our boyfriends, girlfriends over to our parents' house, or hanging out with friends. And what tends to happen is, the mom vets the girlfriend, the dad vets the boyfriend, and they will ask them certain questions, especially where they're going with their life, to see if it aligns with yours, if y'all's values align, because we are people who are actually in that relationship. So there are certain questions that an outsider, like a friend or family member, will ask your significant other for the purpose of vetting to see if y'all are compatible or not. And then they can also spot the red flags that you do not see. As well as this, business. When you are pitching an idea to an investor, one of the first things that they want to see is what? A business plan, so they can look over it and see if they are aligned with the direction that you are going. That's why on Shark Tank, what do? They're pitching to the investors, and the investors are asking certain questions, and they could see things that that entrepreneur hasn't even seen or even thought about in that process. All right. So the second thing we're going to talk about is you will fall. Now, Solomon tells us in Proverbs 11:14 that without the aid of counsel, you will fall. And the terrifying aspects of a fall is this: you will never see it coming. You will lose all control, and you will suffer injury to one degree or another. All right. So this is why being an active parent is so important, especially when our kids are young, they just starting to walk. We have to make sure that, they don't fall and bust their ass, right? Or hit themselves in the head. And I know as a father, and a lot of you fathers out there can relate, we will literally put our bodies on the line to break our child's fall. I do it all the time with my son. I be pulling muscles and everything because he likes to horseplay. He likes to wrestle. And kids are so oblivious to dangers that they don't even know that if they fall wrong, they could suffer a major injury. But as a father, as a parent, we see these things happen before they actually do. So we'll catch them real quick, or we'll throw our bodies on the floor and they land on us and they think that it's WWE or something, right? Well, I know that we all have experienced that, but you got to just make sure that you monitor that as a parent so they don't suffer any type of injury, because you already know if you are an active parent and you love your child unconditionally, the last thing that you want to see is them hurt themselves. So we will break our own body just to make sure that they don't break theirs. All right. So another thing is this. Me personally, I teach my son during the summertime the things that he's going to learn in the fall. So preparing your child for certain things is our responsibility. Like right now, algebra, they're diving deep into algebra. Well, the algebra things that they are practicing and they're working on and taking quizzes and tests on, he did it all over the summertime. And every time that this happens, all he does is say, I'm so glad that I worked on these things during the summertime. So when the teacher presents it, I already know what to do. That's an amazing feeling. And I like to pat myself on the back for that. Okay. So make sure that you always are looking forward in the benefit of your child. All right. So the last thing is this. You will experience financial loss and personal humiliation. Now, poverty, shame shall be to him that refuses instruction. And I actually had this highlighted in this book because if you don't know, this is the second time I'm reading it. But I'm going to say this again because I love this proverb. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuses instruction. And I'm going to be 1000% candid with you guys when it comes to this, okay? So, me and my father do not really get along like that. We do not see eye to eye at all. I do not listen to his advice because, in my opinion, which is really a fact, it's not good. So I never listen to him like that. But the one time that I should have listened to my father is when he told me not to date this particular person, okay? And I ended up marrying this particular person, and it was the worst decision I ever made in my entire life. Being married to this person was hell on earth. I suffered. I got gray hairs. I lost my hair, and I lost a lot of money. But this is the thing.
when you are getting information for people, you have to put things on a scale if it makes sense or not. And that's what I'm learning to do now, okay? If somebody that you might not trust 100% completely, see if what they're saying makes a lot of sense, because you could put yourself in a financial disadvantage. I lost so much money being married to this person, and I'm continuing to lose money because of me being the only person that's taking care of my son currently. And just think about if I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars to get divorced, if I didn't have to deal with me building something, great, and I'm being stabbed in the back, behind my back, not knowing that this is happening. I'm being sabotaged. I would be a millionaire right now, to be honest with you guys. But this is the consequence of me not listening to my father when he told me, hey, you have no business being with this person. Why are you taking care of somebody else's child? That's not your responsibility. You are a grown man with the whole world that can be your oyster in your life. You have so many things, ahead of you that you could be pursuing instead of dealing with this baggage. This woman has nothing to offer you at all. And you could go and create your own legacy from scratch. And it was 100% the truth, 1000%. And by me not listening, I had to suffer the consequences. I had to deal with, multiple cases that were, not true. People saying things that I was doing that was not happening. Why? Because if I would have listened to my father, I wouldn't have even have been with that person. But I chose to go a different route. I didn't listen, and I had to pay the consequences for it. Now, that's why we got to take accountability. I have to take accountability because I can't blame anybody but myself, because we are the owners of relationships. Men choose to be in the relationship, okay? So relationship is ours, sex is the woman's. We already know that, right? So I got to take that accountability, but this is why we got to listen, all right? But that's all I got for today, guys. That's all I have. I still need to edit this video, clip it up so I can drop it tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and always make sure that you get your Revita, okay, shampoo and conditioner. It works, it works, it works. I love using this product. I'm gonna leave my affiliate link down below. Make sure you get your bottles, man. Free shipping on $75 or more. They have more than just their shampoo and conditioner. They have, vitamins, they got oils, they got lotion, they got some of everything on there, man. So check it out, all right? Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Feel like they tryna box me in, so I keep a small circle around me, so fuck friends, I kept it real out the gate, these other cats pretend, reigning supreme is something that will never end, so now and then, they got me feeling